Assalamualaikum. Hi guys. We are from group 3, want to present about our products. But before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Hye Assalamualaikum and this is my group. Lo Jiazia, Lim Wei Ping, Amisha and Farah Nadia. Did you know that the virus COVID-19 has been spread all around the world? This virus is a big problem issue right now because it can cause death. This virus can only be identified by measuring the temperature of human bodies. For example, when someone had high body temperature, they must get a medical checkup because the possibility to get infection is too high. That's why the thermometers are very important nowadays to measure our temperature. So today, we would like to talk about our product, which is Infrared Thermometer.
Okay, so our product is Infrared Thermometer. This Infrared Thermometer is an evolution of thermometer, which is more efficient and very protective. An infrared thermometer is a thermometer which is infers temperature from a portion of the thermal radiation, sometimes called black body radiation, emitted by the object being measured. It can measure temperature from a distance without contact, which can help ease the spread of contact infection. As we know that the most of virus can infect by the contact infections. So we're going to describe our products based on function of the products, advantages compare with others products, disadvantages compare with other products, and also benefits of product to society.
Okay, next we will be talking about the functions of product. So this is the image of the thermometer. So as you all know, the function of thermometer is to measure human temperature, but I will tell you the functions of every parts of the thermometer. So I will show you first the views of the thermometer. So firstly we have the side view, and then we have the front view. After that we have the back view. Next we have the bottom view, and lastly we have the top view of the thermometer. So firstly on the side view we just have two alarm light, which the function I will tell you after this. So this is the front view. We have two infrared range sensor where the sensor can sense our forehead so that the infrared thermometer can measure our temperature. Next we have HD temperature display where our temperature can be displayed on Fahrenheit or Celsius. Next we have 4 alarm lights. So this alarm light will light on after the temperature has been measured. And lastly on front view we have alarm horn. So this alarm horn will sound on and give us the alert if the temperature is very high. And next on the back view we have two wall hanging bracket where we can hang the thermometer on the wall by using the nail or screw. And then we have double-sided adhesive sticking where the thermometer can be stick on the wall by putting the double-sided tape. And on the bottom view we just have two things. So firstly we have tripod joint hole. So the tripod can be joined with the thermometer so that the thermometer can be standing. And then we have power plug port. So this power plug port can connect the thermometer with the power plug so that it can be turned on. And lastly on the top view we just have switch where the thermometer can be turned on and turned off. So that's all for the function.
So next, please allow me to introduce the advantages and disadvantages of our infrared thermometer comparing to other thermometer. First, before I start talking about the advantages and disadvantages, I would like to introduce some science theory in how this thermometer works. For infrared thermometers, it does not sense the temperature, but it collect the energy emitted or reflected from a surface, and then it will read the energy value and transcribe it into the value in temperature that we can read, like in Celsius or in Kelvin. Well, in traditional probe thermometers, it's actually applied a science theory that the higher the temperature and the higher the resistivity of electrical current. Therefore, in this traditional probe thermometer, there is a very sensitive sensor in the in the thermometer, which it will sense the increasement of resistivity and transcribe it into the value of temperature increase for in our body or in a certain environment. So after telling this, I would like to tell about the advantages and disadvantages in both the thermometer. So for infrared thermometer, there are few advantages which it can get faster and more accurate result, as it takes only 1 to 2 seconds to emit and tag the temperature, while the traditional probe thermometer, it needs to be placed in mouth or in ear or in our armpit to let it collect the data or to take the surrounding there, so that you can sense the temperature and transcribe into data, which takes around 10 to 15 seconds, which is longer than the infrared thermometer. And then infrared thermometer also allow us to take the temperature from a distance apart from the surface, and it also taking the temperature of moving parts. Like if I am aiming the infrared thermometer on my forehead, even though I'm moving it, the thermometer can rate the temperature on it. But this traditional probe thermometer, it can only be taken by placing it in mouth or in our armpit. However, this disadvantages on infrared thermometer, which only surface some temperature is taken. Therefore, especially in taking body temperature, it may not be accurate, as it can be influenced by the heat from sunlight or even the surrounding is heat. So it may be influenced by such external factors, but these traditional probe thermometers, it won't, because it's surrounded in the environment. Alright. Then, if we compare our thermometer to others hands carried infrared thermometer, of course, one of the advantages is it's hand-free. And then in our thermometer, alert system is available to give alerts to temperature higher than 37.5, which is counted as fever. And then it also reduces manpower required, because there's no one needed to carry the thermometer to take the temperature. Alright, so that's all from me. So let's welcome my next teammate to continue his part. Thank you.
Hi, madam. I'm waiting here. So, I'm here to present about this advantage of the non-contact infrared thermometer to the society or to the people. So, as we can see on the image that I get from the Lazada website, the non-contact infrared thermometer is expensive than the normal infrared thermometer. So we can see on the image, the non-contact that has a price of 112 ringgit, and for normal it just have 36 ringgit. The price of that is 4 times difference and 4 times expensive than the normal one, right? So maybe you will say that it's just 100 and more ringgit. It's just a small amount of money. But let us imagine this. If today the government set a SOP that every restaurant or every store that sells food or things need to have this non-contact infrared thermometer other than the normal one, because we want more safe to the environment or all the people, right? But for the big restaurants, it will not be a problem, because they can afford them, because they get a big profit. But for the just a store or a hawker that sell food or things, it is a big amount of money for them, because they get a tough time to go through MCO, and for now, to have their business back, they need to pay more 100 ringgit to get this thing. But if they don't, they'll get a ticket of 1000 ringgit, right? So it just be a big burden from them to buy this non-contact infrared thermometer, while the normal one just have the same functions of that, right? But luckily we can say that the government don't have this SOP, so it's just a win-win situation, right? If the big restaurant can afford that, buy a expensive for thermometer. If you can't, just buy a normal one, right? So we get to the next slide. as you can see in the image, is a non-contact flow thermometer with a stabilizer. So the second point of me is it can't fit to everybody. As you can see, if we set the height of the stabilizer to around the average height of everybody is like 160 cm. But if for children, for 4 years old, 5 years old, they can't get the height of 160 cm, right? They just have 150 cm. Or if for a basketball player, it will be like 190 cm. So you just need to bow down 30 cm just to scan this thing. It will be a trouble for them, and it's just become more complicated and more complicated. Right? Maybe we'll say if for children, right? Not the children will not get to the restaurant himself or herself, right? Just let the adult leave them. And for the basketball player, just bow down. Oh, it will be not a problem for basketball to bow down to scan this thing, right? But for children, if let's say one day it's just an old man trying to bring his grandchildren go for restaurants, but now the restaurant is just has this thermometer, and he can't leave his granddaughter, right? Because he's so old. And if nobody's willing to help them, the old people just do not obey the rules of the government, or he just walk in and wait for other people's feeling to lend them a hand, right? So, but I get a solution of these things, right? You can prepare this in your restaurants and prepare a normal thermometer to the restaurant, right? Just if somebody can't fit to this height of the thermometer, just scan it, right? It'll be more easier to everybody and more friendly to everybody, right? So I think that's all for me. So every item has its pros and cons, right? So yeah, that's all for me. Bye bye.
Okay, so lastly, I will be talking about the benefits of the product to the society. So the first main point is the measurement that can be taken from the thermometers can be afar, since the pandemic is still going on. We want to avoid from contact with people, so this thermometer will be great for time being, because it can detect our temperature from afar and no physical contact to use it, so it's great. So secondly, it could give us accurate temperature reading, because there's a lot of people that we need to check on, so we need the temperature to appear it on the screen very fast. And lastly, it's very compact and durable, since it's not that big and not that small. It's suitable to be standing in front of the shop, and it will not bothering other people. And it also durable because it could go through and withstand heavy duty things. And I think that's it. Thank you.
For conclusion, maybe some of you from our slides of some our point, we have found that actually this infrared thermometer was designed for nowadays situations, especially in our country, which people live under the movement control, the MCO, where people need to always be aware with their body temperature, even maybe entering a restaurant, entering a grocery shops to buy some groceries. They need to record their temperature before entering the shop. So with this product or this invention, we hope that it brings less inconvenience to the people for recording and taking their body temperature, and it also helps to give warning when people have higher body temperature, and it reminds people to have a check when they are maybe having fever or something else. So finally with this product, I hope that one day our country and our people can fight the COVID-19 together and live together in a safety and healthy society. Thank you.